Welcome back. The job of a professional fund manager is to grow customers' wealth. But it's not just about dollars and cents, as we find out from a lifelong investor who took the leap to set up his own investment fund.
Terence Wong is the founder and CEO of Azure Capital. He's been in the investment field for over 2 decades. First as an award-winning research analyst.
During the early days of my career, I've been basically very busybody, a bit kepo. I meet up with many companies. Before I retired as a head of research, as an analyst, I've really known like 400 plus listed companies. The founders of these listed companies, they're very close. They are basically not my golfing buddies, but my kopi buddies. I've management of listed companies, the founders, the CEOs coming to me and saying that, hey, I think you have some very interesting investment ideas. Why don't, and I have some money. Why don't you help me manage?
In 2015, he started his own fund management business.
And when I started, of course, there were a lot of things. It was ground zero. Even though I knew how to pick good stocks, I didn't really exactly know how to start a company. So everything I have to just learn. There was a lot of humility involved. You have to speak to the lawyers and they're telling you, and different lawyers will tell you different things. And that's one of the challenge. And we have to put together a team. There was going to be the tax consultants, the fund administrators, the CorpSec. And after you put together the team, you have to make submission for the application for fund manager. And that took months. So after the approval, we still need to take another few more months before the real fund went live. So the whole process took over a year.
Share price is about 6.25 now, fallen by 11% year to date.
But 1 year later, the market sentiment had shifted. He had to convince investors that they should remain on board.
The markets were rocky and people adverse to investing. So I need to convince the people. The first few investors that came, or at least the initial group of investors that came, about 60-70% of them were my contacts from my previous job. So the things in China been doing?
Well, so far, so good.
7 years on, the focus on building and maintaining relationships remains.
Now we are developing a new product called Smart TV.
Today, Terence is at Aztec Global. It's an electronics wholesaler that makes technology for the connected world of tomorrow.
And once it's approved, it's going to go into production, or?
Yeah. You have to go back to the factory to produce. We have 2 factories right now, one in China and the other one in Malaysia.
Malaysia, right?
Such site visits are a key part of his day-to-day routine. Most of the investments he makes are in companies he is familiar with.
I feel that some of the key criteria to actually buying into a company is really understanding the business and knowing the management. And it's important to really go down to the factories to kick the tires and to understand about the prospects, because this is something that's unsaid. So you can go in there, you can look at how the machines are running, how happy the people are.
Turn on TV.
Sure, turning the TV on.
This gives me the vibes. It's sort of like quantitatively it's all on paper, right? Everything is already, reported. I know the past numbers. And in order to make an accurate forecast, I have to understand what they are about to do, their plans for the future, and what their clients are going to do.
The fund focuses on Southeast Asia, with Singapore stocks taking up more than 50%.
In Singapore, the investors are generally well educated. And given that information and analysis, it's been democratized over the past decade or so. Many of them, they do understand investment. So when you want to sort of engage these high net worths or ultra high net worths, you got to come up with a unique plan or unique product that they cannot DIY, they cannot do it on their own. Yes, that's where I come in. Yes.
Those skills were put to the test when the COVID-19 pandemic broke out and financial markets went into freefall.
The investors were inquiring, hey, what's the policy of redemption? That means they want to take back money, right? Because to them, they're also not very sure what's going to happen. But thankfully, I am diversified across funds. So while one fund may not be doing well, I do have some that are recession-proof, COVID-proof, and it has been proven over the last 1.5 years.
You gotta give me money, it's 3.
Okay, I give you $100.
No, it's not $100.
600.
Can discount?
10.
But while money matters might be the name of the game, the winning formula lies closer to home.
7.
Many of the clients are my close friends. They do understand that, I want to be home by 6 p.m. every day. Every night I like to have that kind of work-life balance, work-life harmony with my kids. I want to spend time with my family. And by 11, 12, midnight, when everybody goes to sleep, I'm available to speak again. 10 years from now, I would like to tell you that, I've made very, very decent money for my clients. I've educated them. They understand about the investment environment significantly more than the past because of me. And at the same time, I've not sacrificed any family time during that period of time.
The challenges and rewards in setting up an investment fund, how businesses can fight digital fraud, and how impending tax changes will impact consumers and businesses in Singapore. This has been Money Mind.